as A said, I'm Joe Philleo. I'm the founder and CEO of Edia. Some quick background. I've been thinking about education and edtech what feels like my whole life. When I was back in high school, I built a website called booksareLong.com to crowdsource AP textbook notes. In college, I studied math at USC and tried to create a website, to map all of human knowledge in these micro courses. So this has been an obsession for me for a long time. My own path just was very, serendipitous. When I was in school, I wrote an essay that went viral on the internet. And this tech billionaire, Joe Lonsdale, saw my essay and reached out to me. And I ended up dropping out of school to go work with him at 8VC. Joe's brilliant. He started Palantir, Adapower, OpenGov, 3-4 multi-billion-dollar companies. So I learned a lot working with him. What's frustrating, though, working with Joe, is seeing all of the amazing advancements of technology across every other sector: healthcare, defense, all manufacturing, all these things, and not really much in education. Back in 2020 when we started Edia, and actually this is a good audience question: does anyone know the largest edtech company in the US in 2020? Any guesses? Anyone? PowerSchool? No, not PowerSchool. Pearson? Nope, not Pearson. Google? Well, they're not really an ed tech company, right? I mean, it's an ad tech company, maybe. No, the largest ed tech company in 2020 is Chegg, the homework cheating app, right? That's now going bankrupt, right? And so, just to give you a sense, though, right, of how outside of the radar, ed tech was in Silicon Valley. None of the best investors, none of the best engineers or designers wanted to touch this space. And that really seemed wrong to me, right? If there's any group of people that deserves cutting edge technology, great solutions, it's students, it's teachers, it's administrators. And we felt deeply that school shapes trajectories, right? That Bloom's Two Sigma problem. We all know these sort of things. That if you could approximate a much better experience for kids, could really change their lives, right? It could change what they do. Do they leave town? Do they stay in town? Do they do their dream job, become nurses or doctors? Do they do something totally different? And we felt very kind of galvanized by that. And in 2020, what happened is COVID happened. Every kid got a device, and then GPT-3 launched, the precursor to ChatGPT, where every kid would have a device with AI. And so that became clear to me of, okay, well, now for the first time maybe ever, right? You could build a completely new AI company for K-12 that built transformative learning experiences, that would dramatically change outcomes. And that's what we set out to go do. And so our mission is every kid has an exceptional experience in school. And how we think about Edia is we look and we see, well, what are all the things that cause students not to have an exceptional experience in school, right? Kids don't come to class. Academic proficiency is low. Students don't feel like they belong. Districts kind of are driving in the dark, right, without visibility. And we basically went through each of those problems and built really AI-enabled, kind of AI-first solutions for each of them. Now, our first product was our math product, our AI math coaching product. That product is pretty awesome in that we are the only company in the world that guarantees growth on state exams for our math product. So if a district implements Edia across secondary math and they don't grow within 1 year, we give them a refund. We're just like, you're going to succeed or you don't pay for it, which is pretty cool genetically. It's really forced us to be an outcome-driven company and really driven us to see crazy results, 8 to 23% growth on state exams with our math solution. Our second solution, our AI attendance product, just came out in November, and that's been incredibly compelling. Districts using Edia to help solve chronic absenteeism. And then most recently, we're launching our new AI MTSS solution and our data platform, which are super compelling as well. Now, just to give a little bit more on each of these pieces here, I'll just kind of go over chronic absenteeism in math, and maybe we can get to MTSS if it's of interest. But chronic absenteeism, for those who don't know, it's probably the #1 problem that most districts are facing right now. And what it means is that chronic absenteeism means that students missing 10% of school or more, right? It means that they're missing about almost under a month of school. And the rate of chronic absenteeism has doubled from 13% pre-COVID to 26% post-COVID. So a fourth of kids in the US are missing about a month of school or more each year, which is just horrible, right? Really bad. And so with our AI attendance solution, what we've done here is we've actually, in partnership with EdLink, which is great that they're sponsoring this, but what we've done is we've plugged into the student information system, and within minutes of an absence, we have an AI conversation with parents. And so we'll say, hey, Jessica, your son Luke didn't show up for third period today. Can you let us know where he is? And it's fully AI-driven conversations where parents can go text back and forth. And that gives us the root cause of why students aren't showing up. And then we can go and we can alert that to the staff and have a bunch of workflows around kind of intervening, which is really cool. Our AI math coaching solution, very different tack. There, it's actually, we invented a whole new way for students to type math on a computer. About 80% of students in the US have Chromebooks that are not touchscreen devices. So if you have a math product, you have to be able to type math on a computer. That's kind of essential. So build a way for students to type math on a computer. They get AI coaching as they work. And then AI reads their work, kind of assesses how they're doing on state exams. And then we have a whole workflow for students and teachers to differentiate instruction and do interventions. Insanely powerful. And there's many stories we could tell, but really what's powerful about software, whether it's attendance or math or these other solutions, is its ability to drive impact at scale. So what I always say to districts, and we work with some of the largest districts in the country, New York City, Palm Beach, Fulton County. And what I always say to districts is when you're 2,000 students, 3,000 students, 5,000 students, you can solve your problems kind of with a lot of elbow grease and changing out people, right? At a micro level, you can kind of see big impact. If you have 5 math teachers, one's not doing well, if you're able to find a better math teacher, you're gonna see results. But when you're looking at a district of 50,000 kids, right, or 100,000 kids, that's impossible, right? You can't just do better with elbow grease and changing personnel. You need a system, a solution, that scales, right? That drives out, impact at scale. And that's really where the power of software comes in, whether it's attendance, math, MTSS, et cetera. I don't know. I think I'll just leave it at that. It's probably most helpful there. There's a lot more we could say. Maybe I know the kind of a mix of edtech folks, district folks, et cetera. But maybe what I'll say, just generally for the group here, AI is incredibly powerful, and really what it enables is completely new, transformed workflows for how we do things. When we thought about our attendance solution, we spoke to 100 districts across the US, learned about how they were doing attendance, why students were chronically absent. We found that 75% of kids who were absent did not provide a reason. Their families didn't provide a reason for why they were absent. It's unexplained absences. And that was the root cause of it. You don't know why kids aren't showing up, so you can't go and help them. For math, one of the big problems is a feedback loop. And so we've really taken a very specific approach, whether it's math, reading, and MTSS, attendance, et cetera, trying to figure out what's the root problem in each of these domains, and then how to use AI to go and solve it. And I would encourage, whether you're builders or districts, to kind of adopt a similar approach rather than a one-size-fits-all kind of co-pilot or something like that, where it looks cool, but maybe it's not really doing anything that's really meaningful. So anyways, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. And I'll certainly be around if you have any questions. Thank you.